Hello, brown lash lovers. This is Jessica at J. Devereaux Beauty, and I wanted to talk today again about sugaring. So this will be the part 2. And what I wanted to show people, a couple changes. If you cannot find the metal tool that I used in part 1, another alternative is the cuticle sticks that we use for waxing. If you use sugar with this, put everything in compost. The sugar, the hair, and this can all go in your compost bin, and most local authorities around me, they can take it. So it doesn't even have to be anything special, just be part of your compost. So the other thing that I've changed is I use a towel as my SMA instead of a paper towel, because I can wash this. Sugar is water soluble. The powder is also something that I can wash off the towels. So I prep the skin with the powder from Sugardoh, and instead of putting on a paper towel as an SMA, I put it on a towel on the SMA here. Now, these gloves are from Good Judy. It's a tattoo company based out of Canada that is making gloves that break down faster than traditional nitrile, but they function like nitrile. Now, a couple things. I'm going to cleanse my brows. I wanted to show you, this is just a oil-free cleanser, and you want to prep the skin. One thing that could go wrong when you're sugaring is if the skin is oily, then it will not pick up the hair the same way. You want to cleanse the skin first, let it dry, and then I'll put the powder on. And what I want to show you today is how I get little hairs underneath here, and that I do not tend to wax on top for most women. Sometimes men are different, it can be a benefit, but I do not wax or use sugar here because I think that it creates a more exfoliated shine on the skin that is makes foundation not stick the same way, and can also reflect light differently, and then clients can look like they have a ring around their brow, and I just think that doesn't make them look prettier. So I will tweeze or thread at most up here in this quadrant, and I will sugar here, maybe here, but only if it looks really fuzzy and they're not using prescription creams or really sensitive. So I wanted to throw that out there for professionals and also for consumers to understand, I don't think you need to wax all the way around all the time. There's a lot of downsides to it. So if there's not a lot of hair, even if there is, if you wax just a row and now you have a lot of hair on your forehead, where do you end? Are you waxing your forehead? Are you sugaring your forehead? Where do you stop? So I will sugar here. It's not so painful to sugar as opposed to threading can be more uncomfortable. Sometimes I sugar here, only if they're not prone to breakouts. And sometimes I sugar here. So it's really for the underneath. And I want to show you my technique. I live in a pretty mild climate, so it stays pliable. Sugardoh has content available if you live somewhere cold. You may want to check out their content for how to make it more pliable to work with. I find where I live in Northern California, I can always get that movable amount. So now I'll put my powder and I'll put it right on the skin. And I'm just gonna do it a little bit because you need to brace it. This ideally would be on a client, but I put it on, and sometimes I have to hold the end just a little bit, and I twist it. And I'm staying low because I just want to get a little bit of lower down hair to demonstrate. But I brace it with my finger and then gently twist it just a little bit. It can even look like, look at those little guys going to the side, and then I'm going to flick it. I just have to stay parallel. I'll pick up a little excess, and it won't take out the hair if I just tap it a little bit. And the hairs are in this. It's hard to see, but the hairs are in here, and that's it for getting a little fuzz on my brow. And then afterward, I will cleanse. So I'm not saying so much that this is a shaping, but this is how that little twisting motion, here, I'll do this side. The twisting motion, again, putting on getting rid of oils, touching the powder. Make sure you brace it and making sure the skin is taut and staying low. And if you have a hard time getting it to stay, just put your finger on the base of it and spin it. Again, come again and spin it. It's underneath those hairs and very thin. And then I will flick it in the direction. And it's just like waxing in the sense you want to stay parallel to the skin. You don't want to go 90 degrees. You can create like a broken capillary. If you pull away from the skin, it can bruise a client. So make sure you stay parallel, and then I will cleanse again with the same toner. I got rid of all the fuzz underneath. I really feel like up here just gets a funny shine with lemon. And so I want to encourage people to really consider how they're using wax and sugar when they're shaping brows. And as a consumer, know that you don't necessarily need it up there. Sometimes you might see hyperpigmentation from waxing, and it can be a really telltale ring there. But it's really not mandatory to have to use sticky products above your brow. And in future videos with sugaring, I will do some more troubleshooting, things that could go wrong and what they mean and how to look out for it. So stay tuned. Thank you.